Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Today we're going to have our final class in phonetics and a little bit of culture, English culture. And we're a little bit pressed for time, and therefore we shall make presentations in a shortened variant, so to say. And in addition to presentations, we are going to revise and to produce the dialogue, which we have been practicing for a rather long time. And thus our program will be to read the dialogue first and then your presentations. To begin with the dialogue, let it be Ksenia Zhizhnevskaya, student, first year student, Laura Dimirova, a second year student. Will you please begin the dialogue?
You should start, Laura.
Oh, yes, please, you may start.
Did you have a pleasant weekend, Bill?
Yes, thank you. I studied quite a bit, but on Sunday I took the afternoon off and went to the football game. Washington was playing San Francisco.
Oh, did you enjoy the game?
Yes, we won. Our team looked pretty good. Do you follow the games?
Not anymore. But when I was your age, I liked to go. I always enjoyed football games. I have to get off here. It's nice to see you again, Bill.
It was nice talking to you. Goodbye, Mrs. Jacobs.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's very good. Thank you. Well, I just felt as if it is a natural dialogue. Thank you very much. Okay, and now the rest of you will also read the dialogue, and let it be Laura, who will introduce other girls who will read the dialogue with whom, please.
The same dialogue is read by Veronika Kamasheva and Alexia Zinovieva.
Okay, okay.
You should start. Okay. Did you have a pleasant weekend, Bill?
Yes, thank you. I studied quite a bit, but on Sunday I took the afternoon off and went to the football game. Washington was playing San Francisco.
Oh, did you enjoy the game?
Yes, we won. Our team looked pretty good. Do you follow the games?
Not anymore. But when I was your age, I liked to go. I always enjoyed football games. I have to get off here. It's nice to see you again, Bill.
It was nice talking to you. Goodbye, Mrs. Jacobs.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. That was really very good too, and quite well done. Thank you very much. Very natural. Thank you. And one more pair, please. Laura, introduce the rest of them.
And the same dialogue is read by Nadezhda Markina and Irina Shenkarenko.
Yes, you're welcome.
Nadia, will you begin, please?
Yes, I will. Did you have a pleasant weekend, Bill?
Yes, thank you. I studied quite a bit, but on Sunday I took the afternoon off and went to the football game. Washington was playing San Francisco.
Oh, did you enjoy the game?
Yes, we won. Our team looked pretty good. Do you follow the games?
Not anymore. But when I was your age, I liked to go. I always enjoyed football games. I have to get off here. It's nice to see you again, Bill.
It was nice talking to you. Goodbye, Mrs. Jacobs.
Oh, yes, that's fine. Thank you very much. Really, very good. It is really very good. You did your best. Thank you very much. I'm very much pleased what I've heard. Thank you. And now we come over to the second half of our class or conversation. And this is the part where we discuss some elements of British culture through presentations and some words which will accompany your presentations. And now I think I allow to organize the whole process by Nadia Markina, and she will begin with her own presentation. Just a second, I will give you the ability to do that. So Nadia will, oh, sorry, I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. Oh yes, this is it. So now you are the organizer.
Let's see.
Yes, the presentation is about state opening of Parliament.
I will read an extract from Traditions in the Great Britain about state opening of Parliament. One can see such a procession when the Queen rides for the state opening of Parliament from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster. Robed and crowned, the Queen enters the upper house and delivers the address from the throne. The speech is written for her by the Prime Minister. In 2022, Charles and Prince William opened the third session of the 2019 Parliament with the traditional Queen's speech.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's really short, but quite concise. Thank you very much. And who is the next?
Veronica.
Veronica Kamush.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Kate talks about English pubs. Today I'm going to tell you about British pubs, their rules and their features. The pub is one of the oldest places in England where people can meet and talk in a friendly atmosphere. They were often visited by famous people, and one of them was William Blake, who was an English poet and painter. It is quite different from bars or cafes in other countries. In cafes, people drink coffee and get out. The atmosphere there is formal, but in pubs, there is a general atmosphere of warmth and coziness. British pubs are the focus of community life in villages, towns, and cities all over the country. British pubs make so special atmosphere, history, Sundays roast every week, drinks, and the activities for children and for adults. Also, there are many rules in British pubs. I want to tell you about the most famous ones which I found. So the first rule is the sociability rule. Here it is. The bar counter of the pub is a place in England where it is socially acceptable to strike up a conversation with a stranger. At the bar counter, normal rules of privacy and reserve are suspended. Friendly conversation with strangers is considered entirely appropriate and normal behavior. The next rule is the invisible queue rule. The bar counter is the only place in England in which anything is sold without the formation of a queue. The bar staff is the customers, and the customers are aware of each person's position in the queue. Everyone knows who is the next. The person who reached the bar counter before you will be served before you, and anything attempt to get served out of turn will be just ignored by the bar staff. The next rule is the pantomime rule. The rule of English pub regulate non-verbal as well as verbal communication. There is a strict etiquette involved in attracting the attention of bar staff. This must be done without speaking and without making any noise. The approach is a sort of pantomime in which the twitch of an eyebrow speaks volumes. The object is to make eye contact with the barman, but calling out to him, tapping coins on the counter, snapping fingers are not permitted there. It is acceptable to let bar staff know that one is waiting to be served by holding money or an empty glass in one's hand. And the last rule, it is the rules of regular speaks, especially greeting rules. This rule has to do with communication between regular visitors. Publicans and bar staff always address regulars by name, and regulars always address the publicans, bar staff, and each other also by name. Regulars use different nicknames. Pubs are always full of people called Shorty, Yorkshire, Dog, Lofty, and etc. The frequent use of nicknames between regulars, publicans, and bar staff gives them a sense of belonging. The greeting rules require the publican, bar staff, and regulars to welcome a regular with cause and so on. And it indicates a high degree of familiarity. This is a greeting rule between regulars. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for your attention. All this information is borrowed from the book by Kate Fox.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. This is really an interesting story. Thank you very much. And now goes our next speaker. Who is it? It will be
Irina.
Ira Shenkarenko.
Okay.
Irina Shenkarenko.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to add some more information to what has just been said about British pubs. The Great British Pub dates back almost 2,000 years. Ye-Old trip to Jerusalem in Nottingham is the oldest one, started in 1189. Originated from Roman taverns in 43 AD, pubs developed to become the cornerstones of British culture. The naming of pubs became common by the 12th century. With pub names came pub signs, as the majority of the population couldn't read or write. The Red Lion is the most common name for a pub. It originates from the time of James I and the VI of Scotland, who came to the throne in 1603. British pub etiquette. Once in a pub, get yourself a table and go to the bar to place your order. Wait for a turn to be served. In the UK, beer is an umbrella term that can include lagers, ales, stouts, beers, etc. If you don't know what to order, you can always have a glass of drink to taste for free before you order. Buying a round of drinks for everyone in your party is an unspoken social contract. If someone has got a round in, you are expected to do the same. Tipping is not a requirement, however. You are always welcome to drop a pound in a tip jar if you spot one. If you wish to tip the bar staff, order a round of drinks and say, "And one for yourself." The cost of the drink will be included to your bill, and later the bar staff will decide whether to have a drink or to take the money. Normally, British pubs close at 11. The sound of a bell or flashing lights means that it's last orders. You've got 20 minutes to finish up and make your way out. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, thank you. It is quite enough to know about the pubs, and you may be quite ready to go there. Thank you very much.
And who is the next?
And now you allow somebody else to
Ksenia.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, to continue speaking about pubs, let me show Laura's presentation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And just a second. So, yes.
Okay.
So you may start, Laura.
Oh, yes, Laura, you may begin.
Thank you. Next slide, please.
Yes, please.
England is well known for its caring attitude to different ancient buildings and monuments. This concerns pubs as well. Various ancient pubs are preserved in England and nowadays look like they did hundreds of years ago. I would like to tell you about one of the most famous pubs of the country, Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem. Next slide, please. Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem is a historic drinking saloon with fascinating cellars and caves carved into the rocky outcrop upon which Nottingham Castle stands. The next slide, please. This pub is one of a handful that claim to be the oldest in England. Dating back to 1189, it is said to have been a pit stop for crusading knights journeying to Jerusalem, hence the name. Next slide, please. Adjoining Castle Rock in the shadow of Nottingham Castle, it's a cross between a pub and a museum, with medieval caves built into the sandstone, several bars and cozy nooks filled with curiosities and relics from the city's history. The next slide, please. The earliest known reference to the name Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem was in 1799. Before being known by its current name, it is believed that the pub was named The Pilgrim. The current name is believed to come from the belief that pilgrims, or crusaders, would stop at the inn on their journey to Jerusalem. Some elements of the pub's name are misunderstood in the modern day. Ye Olde is properly pronounced the Olde, and trip refers to a stop on a journey rather than the journey itself. Locals often use a shortened version of the name, the trip. The next slide, please. The pub claims that it was established in 1189 AD, the year that Richard the Lionheart became king and Pope Gregory VIII called for a third crusade to the Holy Land. However, there is no documentation to verify this date. Evidence suggests that the caves in the rock against which the pub is built were used as a brew house for Nottingham Castle and may date from around the time the castle was built, in 1067. The next slide, please. During visiting the pub, one can join a guided cellar tour around the labyrinth network of tunnels beneath the pub. The passageways stretch far into Nottingham city centre and provide a route up to the Nottingham Castle too. Next slide, please. So that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. That was also really very interesting. Thank you. And now goes who? Ksenia.
Yes.
Ksenia, yes, you're welcome.
Um,
Ksenia Жизневская.
the second. So I would like to speak about the British folklore. And on the first slide, you can see the points that I'm going to talk about. Well, what is folklore? Folklore is originally shared tales and verses and jokes, but it also includes traditions and superstitions that were brought by from one generation to another. Folklore nowadays can be shortened to lore, and this word is often used in modern world to speak about a book universe or a moving universe. And so on this picture, you can see one legend. This is, stones that look like a person, and it's called Bowman's Nose. It's situated in Devon, England, and there's a legend that this person was turned into stones by witches. And so it's also part of folklore. The next point that I'm going to talk about is a very popular heroic poem that is called Beowulf. It was written in the 6th century AD by an anonymous writer. It's really a fascinating poem. It is written in Old English, and it was an inspiration to many writers. For example, Tolkien was inspired by Beowulf. So this story tells us about this hero by the name of Beowulf, whose main goal is to protect the king, and so in the process he fights monsters. And on this picture you can see it is pictured like Beowulf fights a dragon. Also, I would like to talk about Robin Hood, a very well-known character from British folklore. Children and adults throughout the world know Robin Hood. Stories of Robin Hood written in ballads. They first appeared in the 13th or 14th century AD. The main character is Robin Hood and his band called Merrymen. His main goal is to fight suppression by monarchs, especially King Richard the Lionheart, which is an antagonist of Robin Hood and also is a historic person. And in the process, Robin Hood finds his love, Maid Marian. And so on the picture, you can see Robin Hood and Maid Marian. The next point that I'm going to talk about is the tradition, or maybe a superstition. It is witch bottles. Witch bottles is an item that was used as a protection against witches. Many people were afraid of witchcraft, and so they brought their personal things like hair or nails to healers, so that healers could make witch bottles. And the purpose of witch bottle is to save a person from a witchcraft. There's really an interesting process. The bottle was buried under the house, and it was believed that an evil spirit would be pierced by nails in the bottle, and then it would be drowned in wine, and then rosemary would help to banish the spirit. Really an interesting piece. And on the picture you can see one of the witch bottles in the Museum of London. And that is it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And
Thank you.
we have one more presentation by Alexia.
Yes.
Alexia Zinovieva?
1 second, please.
Yes, please.
Here.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you about the Tudor Rose, which is a historical and one of the most important emblems of Britain. So let me start. Well, the Tudor Rose, or it is also called the Union Rose, is a traditional floral heraldic emblem of England and takes its name and origins from the House of Tudor, which united the House of Lancaster and the House of York. The Tudor Rose consists of 5 white inner petals representing the House of York and 5 red outer petals to represent the House of Lancaster. Here you can see the white rose of the House of York and the red rose of the House of Lancaster. Let me tell you about origins of this emblem. In the Battle of Bosworth Field, which was in 1485, Henry VII of the House of Lancaster took the crown of England from Richard III of the House of York, brought to an end the Wars of the Roses. In 1486, he married Elizabeth of York to bring the two factions together. On his marriage, Henry VII adopted the Tudor Rose badge, conjoining the white rose of York and the red rose of Lancaster. The Tudor Rose is occasionally seen divided in quarters and vertically red and white. More often, the Tudor Rose is depicted as the double rose. Here you can also see it. This is the picture of the War of the Roses, which was in 1455 and which ended in 1485. I also want to add that there was 2 other emblems. You can see on this picture the red dragon, which was used by the House of Lancaster, and the white bear, which was used by the House of York. Let me tell you about the uses of the emblem. Of course, it was used as a badge which was worn by individuals as a symbol of loyalty and allegiance. And it also served as the royal floral emblem of England, of course, as I've just already mentioned it. Speaking about modern days, it is still worn on the uniform of the Yeoman Guards or beefeaters at the Tower of London. You can also see it on this picture. And also it is used as a part of the badge of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and so on. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I think that we managed to do everything just in time, and I think that all the presentations were very interesting, and I think that you enjoyed this class, and I think that there was some new information for you, because actually 1 or 2 presentations were presented just for the first time, and the whole group hasn't seen everything. Therefore, I think this was a kind of educational for you all, and I think it was interesting and inspiring. I hope that in future we may go on working in this sphere and have a look at some other no less interesting topics as we have discovered and discussed this year. Thank you very much. See you next year. Wish you luck. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Goodbye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.